Story hits it high and deep right field. Way back and gone! Take a good look. You won't see it for long. The legend grows larger. This ball's hit to deep left field. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. Story time. It's been a decent maiden voyage in the big leagues for one Trevor Story, the reigning National League Player of the Week, 7 home runs his first 6 games. That's never happened before in big league baseball for a rookie or for a veteran. Trevor Story and the Rockies against Bruce Bochy's San Francisco Giants. First matchup this year between the two clubs. The Giants are off to a fine start. They're 5-2. This is the first time that they get to see Coors Field in 2016. Denard Span hasn't seen Coors Field that frequently in his career, surprisingly. He's one of the new Giants, and he is off to a solid start. He's got 6 RBIs in that top spot in the lineup. Joe Paddock will bat next, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Hunter Pence, Brandon Belt with his new 5-year deal. Matt Duffy, Brandon Crawford, Angel Pagan, Trevor Brown, Jeff Samardzija. You say, whoa, where's Buster Posey? Buster Posey took a foul ball off his right instep the other day, and guess what he is, Huey?
Day-to-day?
He's day-to-day.
Oh.
We've been told that they believe Buster will go tomorrow, but we shall see. That's the Rockies aren't crying in their soup, though, and the first pitch of the ball game is on the outside corner, strike 1 at Denard Span, because Buster Posey is hitting a shade under 400 in his career at Coors Field. I've always liked this guy's game. Former Minnesota Twin. 1 ball, 1 strike. Chatwood, a fine performance, Jeff, in Phoenix. 6 2/3, worked deep in that ball game, gave up just 1 earned run.
3 strikeouts, 0 walks, 12 ground ball outs, just a couple flyouts. Pitching a lot with his fastball in that game. This is a changeup from Tyler. He also throws some sliders, but that, to go what he went through for 2 years almost with the Tommy John surgery, going back to a place where you were injured and you had to walk off the mound and then go out and defeat Arizona for the first time and get that W, pretty special.
There's that good fastball in on the knuckles. Had some cut to it.
And
so
the other thing,
1 and 2.
The other thing too for Tyler is this is his first start at Coors Field since the last time he faced a big league club, and that was also against the Giants.
That was also against the Giants almost 2 years ago. So he's getting rid of all those firsts. You know, he just wants to settle in, and this is a good start. He's got it to shortstop. Trevor Story has his first action. He was over on the right side. 1 out.
When you would think for a guy that was revved up like he was that he would be overthrowing the baseball. That didn't happen. 89 pitches in that 6 1/3, 62 strikes, as I mentioned, 12 ground ball outs. A lot of fastballs in that game. Threw some off-speed pitches, but a lot of fastballs where he commanded all 4 quadrants, top to bottom, in and out.
I think he did so well in start number 1 was get ahead of hitters. There's been a problem for the Rockies in the early going, but it wasn't for Chatwood. It wasn't the other day for Chad Bettis. He does fall behind Joe Paddock here 2-0. Paddock dealt with some injuries last year, missed the final 2 months of the season with a stress fracture in his back. And this is popped up, and Nick Hundley's got to play. It looks like now he doesn't. Here are the Rockies defensively behind Tyler Chatwood. It's their normal starting outfield of Gerardo Parra, Charlie Blackmon, and Carlos Gonzalez. Nolan Arenado, Trevor Story on the left side. DJ LeMahieu, Mark Reynolds getting the start tonight at first base, and the aforementioned Nick Hundley with the gear on. So it's 2-1 on the St. John's product. Joe Paddock. Good hitter. And he fouls that off. In fact, you talk to some people in the San Francisco organization, and they'll say 2 years ago, the Giants don't win the World Series and make that run without the contributions of then rookie Joe Panik.
That's why he was an all-star last year. I mean, that's part of the reason they had that run. He did his thing and then followed up until, as you mentioned, he hurt his back. But for somebody to come in and deal like he did.
Chases the fastball out of the zone. So 2 quick outs. The initial punch out of the game for Tyler Chatwood.
A first look at the Subaru Super Mode tonight, right out of the hand. 4-seam elevate by the letters. Panik cannot catch up to it. First strikeout for Tyler Chatwood. Like in the start, the ground ball elevated when he needed to get the strikeout.
And you'll see the fastball 91, 92, maybe he'll flash 93, but because it has such dramatic movement on it, there's a 92-mile-an-hour fastball to Hunter Pence. He gets a high rate of swings and misses on his fastball.
And he also hides it real well. Quick short arm action.
Backhand, Story stays with it. He's got Pence by 2 strides. An outstanding start for Tyler Chatwood as he mows down the Giants. 1, 2, 3 in the first. Chatwood, he dispatched the Giants on 11 pitches. Charlie Blackmon ready to go against Jeff Samardzija as we take a look at the Rockies lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Walt has inexplicably has left Trevor Story in the 2-hole. I figured he dropped down like 9. Cargo bat 3rd, Nolan next, Gerardo Parra, Mark Reynolds, Nick Hundley, Tyler Chatwood will bat 8th. And Walt likes to do this periodically with a good hitting pitcher, which Tyler is. So you have a guy hitting .478 in the 9-hole in DJ LeMahieu. First pitch from hard throwing Jeff Samardzija is high and away.
Well, and for Samardzija, he's coming off a start where he took the loss against Milwaukee in his last outing on the 6th. Gave up a home run there.
He's been giving up a lot of home runs the last few years. Samardzija on the outside corner at 94. There's never been a question about his arm.
Always had that, but it's the secondary pitches. But the home runs, 4 consecutive seasons allowing 20 or more home runs for Samardzija.
Durable guy. Here's the 1-1, and it's pulled foul. Let's take a look at the 4-pitch arsenal of Jeff Samardzija, the Notre Dame product.
And the cut fastball, not much different than the regular 4-seamer. He'll just grab it with the seams to get that little movement late at the end, slider and split. The pitch he has not been able to throw, even in the warm-up outing before the regular season, and the last one was his split finger.
Outside 2-2 on Blackmon. So the Rockies had the day off yesterday. They enter play today at 3-3. The Giants took 3 of 4 against the Dodgers at AT&T. 2 of 3 in Milwaukee to begin the season. They're 5-2. And that's a soft liner right at Brandon Belt, 1 out. So here comes Trevor. Trevor Story, Jenny and the gang did that nice piece on Trevor yesterday with his girlfriend having breakfast at Snooze. He's already got to go incognito a little bit, huh?
Glasses, hat. But when you put up the numbers that he has, you have to do that. I don't think it's quite to the Groucho Marx phase yet, but
the Bobby Valentine.
Yeah, right.
It's got Bobby Valentine on us. Trevor, 7 of the Rockies' 17 home runs. 1 out, bottom of the first. Here's the 0-1. And that's down low. The Rockies and Detroit Tigers are the only 2 teams to produce 17 home runs in the first 6 games of a season. The 06 Tigers. One. Outside, 2-1.
Things are so much for Trevor now that earlier today he had a press conference just to make sure everybody could get their question in just to him, where they pulled him to the interview room instead of just the locker room.
Right. I mean, you can count on one hand how many times that's happened during the regular season. This is bounced to third. And Duffy just did get Story, who runs very well. Here's San Francisco defensively. Angel Pagan is no longer in center field. He's a left fielder with the addition of Donard Span. Hunter Pence naturally in right. Matt Duffy, good player. Brandon Crawford has a gold glove at short. Panic. Brandon Belt, good glove at first base as well. Trevor Brown, again, doing the catching, the rookie for Buster Posey. So Angel Pagan getting used to seeing the ball tail a little bit. You know, off the left-handed bat, a little bit different than playing straight up in center field. Cargo takes a pitch on the outer edge for a strike. It was looked like a splitter.
And that's the pitch for Samardzija that he wasn't getting over in Milwaukee. Watch a replay of that game, and he had trouble commanding his fastball first, and then the split finger second.
Here's our Mako big hit. They are actually 2 big hits. Cargo on Sunday went oppo to left field in the first inning, and then late in the ball game he hit one a mile into the second deck. The Rockies would win 6-3 against the Padres. Another day at the office for Carlos Gonzalez.
The last time he had a multi-home run game, it was against these Giants back on the 3rd of September last year.
Now he's got 17 multi-home run games in his career. 0-2. And a bouncing ball to under the glove of Belt. He's just bragging on his sure hands. You don't see that much.
Indecision from Brandon Belt. Thought he would sit back, then decided to go get it, and was caught in between. Sits back, and then he says, maybe I should go get it, and then didn't get his glove down and work underneath the baseball in the Subaru Supermo. First error of the season for Brandon, just the 2nd error for the Giants as a team.
Well, that'll give Nolan a chance to hopefully torment the Giants a little bit more. He certainly did that a year ago. 10 home runs against the Giants, 10 of his league leading, along with Bryce Harper, 42 home runs. .333 overall, 10 home runs, 24 RBIs.
It seemed like every one of those home runs came at a big moment. They weren't when the game was lopsided one way or the other. He always was clutch.
That misses. 2-0. No Rocky had ever hit 10 home runs against one opponent in a season. And the 24 RBIs ties the club record for most ribbies against one opponent in a season. You have to go back to a guy I was watching this morning on the MLB Network, an old friend of ours. We'll see him when Miami comes to town and we go to Miami. PW, Preston Wilson, drove in 24 against the Giants in 03. He did a great job with Matty this morning, Vasgersian and D-Row. That's a fun. Do you watch that in the morning?
Yes, I do.
That's like my Today Show.
Right. I eat
MLB
some cereal.
Central.
Some cereal. Maybe a bagel. Watching that show.
So you're eating and I'm on the bike. You know, that's the difference between you and I.
There you go.
Ex-athlete.
Bike's later on in the morning.
I know it is. And the 3-0 pitch is lifted to shallow center field. And the catch is made by Denard Span. So Cargo reached on an error's left on base. No scores. We go to the second. Tyler Chatwood and that man, Jeff Samardzija. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your hometown Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. With Jeff Hewson and Mark Stout, I'm Drew Goodman. We go to the top of the second inning. By the way, Walt Weiss will join us home games on Tuesdays from the booth in the bottom of the fourth inning. Here's Brandon Belt, and he's going to bounce it to the short fielder, DJ LeMahieu. One out on one pitch, and that will bring up Matt Duffy, a product of Long Beach State. There's Walt. Walt will be with us in the fourth, as I mentioned, standing next to his bench coach, Tommy Runnels.
We got Walt in the fourth. We got Garrett Atkins on the Twitter takeover today.
Garrett had a rough day today. Garrett and Spilly.
Well, I'm sure his was better than Spilly's because we both played golf with Spilly. So.
Oh, you were playing in that?
No,
as
I didn't
well?
play. I didn't play with him today. No.
Oh.
But I just.
That's what they were doing.
Yeah. Spilly told me it wasn't.
Who won?
Atkins.
Well, that's all Addy does now.
Yeah, Addy. Not quite tour yet, but pretty
good
close.
player. Yeah. 1-0's in there. 1-1 on Duffy. Finished as the runner-up last year in the Rookie of the Year voting to one Chris Bryant, who we'll see next weekend when we are in Chicago at Wrigley Field. Looking forward to that. That's in the air to Cargo. He's got it. 2 outs. This next guy coming up for me, Jeff, is continually improved in his career. I always knew he could pick it, and now he's become a bona fide, very fine hitter in the big leagues.
And that's why he got the 6-year contract extension, because it started out as a great glove, average, okay, had a little bit of power, and then he could hit the right-handers, but had trouble with the left-handers, and then that cleaned up last year. So he's done a lot of things in his career. There's an interesting stat against right-handed pitching this year. He's only swung and missed on 40 pitches 3 times.
Isn't that something?
I had to do a double take on that when I read that. I was like, does that mean 13?
He's taken 40 swings against right-handed pitching this year. and he's made contact 37 times. Now, that may be a foul ball, but he's not completely swung and missed, but 3 times, as Jeff pointed out. Here's the 1-1, and that's a base hit. So a 2-out knock for Brandon Crawford. And that'll bring up Angel Pagan, who, before the arrival of Denard Span, not only always played center field when he was healthy, but always led off. And now he's been moved down in the lineup.
And sometimes he's hit 9th in the lineup. Tonight he's not. But when Madison Bumgarner's on the hill.
If Mad Bum keeps hitting like he's hitting, he's going to hit 4th.
Well, they say they'll pinch hit him.
They did last year, and they ought to. They're short on their bench. They're going with 4 on their bench and the extra man in the bullpen. On the inside corner for a strike on Pagan.
Inside corner on Subaru strike zone.
He's battled knee injuries for a while. In fact, he had off-season knee surgery. This guy's off-season regimen in terms of getting prepared for spring training in the season is second to none. I mean, he like literally leaves his family and does his own thing. He finds some, remote place, and all he does is work out. I was reading a piece on it a year ago. He's always in great condition.
Yeah, that's a hard thing you do, but it's a sacrifice that sometimes you have to make.
2 outs, 2 balls and a strike on Pagan. And that's outside. 3-1. Great thing about Chatwood is he can throw his fastball in fastball counts and get mishit balls.
Movement on it. We've seen the movement going away. He can also cut it inside if he needs to. It shook to a fastball in.
And that one shot the other way. So now they're 2 on for Trevor Brown.
3-1. He challenged Pagan. Pagan just shot it past Nolan over there at third base because Nolan had shifted over, playing more in the 5.5, more like the shortstop hole, the 6 hole. And that's where you just tip your cap to a good hitter. It just took a pitch that wasn't bad, shot it the other way.
Here's the rookie Trevor Brown. Got a taste of the big leagues last September. Got 13 ball games. Giants fans already adore him because of what he did the other day with that no-no being fashioned by the Dodgers. He gets to come up against the bullpen against Chris Hatcher, and he not only broke up the no-hitter, he broke up the shutout, and he put the Giants in front with a 2-run home run, his first home run of the year.
There was only 1 of 2 hits they had that night. The other one was a solo shot by Brandon Crawford. 3 runs on 2 hits, 2 home runs.
Sounds like a game at AT&T, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
1-1 on Trevor Brown. Chatwood in that first ball game against Arizona threw 85% fastballs. That's fast. I mean, that's near the numbers we talk about with Jake McGee, with Jason Mott, who's hurt, guys coming out of the bullpen. You don't see that figure typically for a starting pitcher unless it's a guy like Shelby Miller.
Oh, I remember Brad Penny.
Brad Penny would do that.
85%. He also had 13% of the pitches were sliders. That only left 2% for the curveball.
Two and 2 on Brown. never want to go to 3-2 when there's traffic and there's 2 outs. So now Crawford and Pagan will be moving. 3-2 on Trevor Brown.
Especially a speedy runner at first.
And that's a fair ball. Long throw for Arenado. And out. Barely. Trevor Brown got up the line very well. Especially when you think of a catcher not running well. He ran pretty well. It was bang bang at first, but the strong arm of Nolan Arenado got him. And we'll go to the bottom of the second. No score at Coors Field.
Second, couple of guys on. No scores. We go bottom 2. It's a Toyota Talk Takeover Twitter Tuesday. Say that 5 times fast. Guess who's taking over the @RootSports_RM Twitter account tonight? Garrett Atkins, the former Rocky, a guy that wore number 27 pretty well. So Atkins, you got to tweet him your questions tonight @RootSports_RM, and we'll see what he comes up with, guys. It's gonna be fun tonight with Garrett Atkins.
It will. Now, now Mark.
Yeah.
We're just, because we're not going to tweet right now, we're just going to verbally ask Addy a question.
Do it.
What did he shoot and what did Spilly shoot today?
And they got to be honest, right?
Well, one would always assume you have to be honest, especially in the game of golf.
It's a gentleman's game.
Yes. 0-1 on Gerardo Parra. 3 doubles in the first game of the year down in Arizona. And that's foul. 0-2.
We had fun with Garrett down at fantasy camp. Garrett and Brian Fuentes were champions again.
Well, Addy and his family moved back to Colorado recently. Parra 6 for 15 lifetime against Jeff Samardzija. Samardzija with the White Sox last year. And that's back up the middle. Good piece of hitting there on an 0-2 pitch. Well, I don't think many people have forgotten when Addy was in his prime with the Rockies. He was one of the most dangerous offensive third baseman in the game. He could pick it also. Addy was an RBI machine.
I just think the gap-to-gap swing that he had was as impressive as anything. Yeah, if he needed a ball to hit the right center field, he could almost at will do that. You hang him one, he'd pull it to left center field.
Reynolds with a base hit the other way. Parra is going to try to go first to third here, and he will on Pence. So a good start to the second inning. Back-to-back knocks by the former Diamondback players, Gerardo Parra and Mark Reynolds.
Big hole on the right side for Mark Reynolds, and he takes the ball that way. Second baseman panics, shading up the middle, and Gerardo, knowing where everybody is on the field, glances over his shoulder. Since the ball was in front of him, he didn't even need to look at Stu. He's making that determination on his own.
That'll bring up Nick Hundley, an RBI opportunity for Nick. Home run and 3 driven in the early going. Nick started the first 5 games. Tony Walters gave him a break on Sunday. The 1-0 inside 2-0. Sam Holbrook is working home plate tonight, and he's joined by Rob Drake at first, Carlos Torres at second, a young umpire, and the crew chief at third is Jerry Davis. Here, Jerry. Well, the count you want to be in, 2-0. Runners on the corners, nobody out, no score. Large at 94.
Like Nick thought that pitch was up. It was up, but still in the Subaru strike zone.
Good approach there, but it's fouled off down the right field line. So it's 2-2 on Hundley. Nick tied DJ LeMahieu for 10th in the National League in hitting last year at .301. And a chilly Tuesday night. 61 degrees at game time temperature. The game time temperature, not awful, especially for April. 2-2, and Hundley pulls it to short. They're going to turn it over, but the Rockies get a run. So Parra comes home on the 6-4-3, and it's 1-0 Rockies.
We got Nick out in front, rolled over. Taylor made double play.
Fans at the Rockies score 7 or more runs. Go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Do it between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special. Live Moss at Taco Bell. Tyler Chatwood hitting in the 8th spot.
Well, last year the Rockies were 3-5 when the pitcher hit in the 8th spot.
Yeah, it's funny, we've pointed this out before, but it's been a couple of years because we haven't seen Tyler in the batter's box in a couple of years, at least at the big league level. He's a tremendous athlete, but he steps in the bucket. He's kind of like Juan Uribe. He steps in the bucket, but he, especially for a pitcher, he finds his way to get the barrel of the ball frequently. 0-2. I mean, you would not teach that. First step towards Stu Cole.
But they don't say, you would, yes.
If it was a younger version, Stu's yelling, hey, step at the pitcher.
Step in there, don't step towards me. But if it works for him, it's all that matters.
1-2, and softly hit to Panic. Rockies get a run. A couple of singles began the inning. They're up 1-0 as we go to the 3rd. as we go to the top of the third inning. Here's our Office Liquidators series storylines. Start strong against the Giants. Last 2 years, the Rockies have won the season series against the Giants. It was 11-8 last year, including 6-3 at AT&T Park. And of course, Tyler Chatwood wants to put together another strong start as he had against the Diamondbacks in his return from Tommy John surgery, out for almost 2 years, at least at the big league level. He threw winter ball this offseason, and I cannot imagine having to wait 2 years to do something you love to do.
But to Tyler's credit, he stayed around the club. He was engaged. He was in the locker room. He was on the bench. And for that, the guys that are playing like to have somebody that's encouraging to them. And in turn, they encouraged him to get better and get back with them.
Well, I will tell you this, and you know this, Jeff, to be true. Tyler is a very popular teammate in the Rockies clubhouse.
Well, and for that reason, because it wasn't oh, poor me, I can't play, so I'm not going to be around or I'm not going to be helpful.
This ball's pretty well hit right center field by Samardzija. Blackman calling off Cargo, and he's got it. Well, we asked a question because Addie and Spilly played golf together earlier, Garrett Atkins and Ryan Spilborghs, and we asked how that went. And Garrett has written us, Spilly kept his own score, so he'll have to ask him. Doubt he'll share it. He might have burned the card. And I believe there was a follow-up tweet also. Spilly had me at 75. Another awful day on the golf course, obviously, for Atkins. But not sure you can trust the UCSB education on that. A little shot from the Bruin.
Yeah,
a
from
little
the
shot
UCLA
from the Bruin.
guy.
Denard Span slices one to left field, and he's going to have a double. You know the best thing about this whole deal, that Addie's in control of social media tonight? Right now, I guarantee you, we'll ask Erica if she can get a shot of Spilly, because he's in the press box on his third meal, and he has no idea maybe what's going on, and he's getting killed, and he hasn't responded yet.
No, well, not yet.
But he will have a response, because you know he always has one.
Well, and he told me today that he shot an 89, so that's what he claimed, but he also said he used 1-foot wedge. So what would that score really been without the foot wedge?
89. Now, if he shot 89, that's fine. This ball in the air to Parra in left. Panic is retired. 2 gone. We'll see if Garrett authenticates that 89, or maybe that was 89 after 14 holes.
Yeah, he did. That's right. Spilly never qualified what the 89 or how many holes he played for the 89.
Right. That question wasn't asked.
No.
I stopped counting at 89.
I had enough fun. I had enough fun at 89.
Here's the dangerous Hunter Pence. Takes a strike on the inside corner. He bounced to short his first time up. Pence last year, 3 different stints on the disabled list.
And this is from a guy that was an Iron Man that would play 162 games and play every inning of those 162 games. He never came out.
He makes a huge difference. And sometimes you say that and the stats don't always back it up. In the case of Hunter Pence, when he didn't play last year, the Giants were 10 games under 500. When he did play, they were 16 games above 500. Case closed. Right?
Slam the gavel down.
Absolutely. 1-1 on Pence.
The one guy he has not hit well in his career is Tyler Chatwood. He's 1 for 17.
Isn't that something? Don't jinx him now.
Not. Saying he's going to be 1 for 18 because he's not seeing him.
2-1. '89, more like '89. X.
Addy, I'm just going by what Spilly told me. That's all.
I love this. Spilly's getting his butt kicked, and he's got no response. That's a base hit. Parra up with a baseball, and the throw to the plate. It's not going to get spanned. Chatwood backing up actually catches it. So Hunter Pence, just his second career hit in 18 at-bats against Chatwood, has tied it up.
I didn't jinx him. I know you're hitting me thinking I jinxed him. I was just reading the number that was out there.
A lot of fans are very upset with you.
I know. But a hanging slider on the Subaru Supermo from Tyler that allowed Pence to get on top of it, but then Tyler not forgetting what else he had to do. He went up and backed up home. Saved that ball from going to the wall. Pence possibly moving up to third.
Brandon Belt grounded to deep second his first time up. And Chatwood, for the first time I think today, spun a curveball for a strike.
Yes, he did. 76 miles an hour, I'll tell you.
18 home runs, 68 driven in for Brandon Belt last year. And he was just rewarded in the last week with a new 6-year deal. And that's a base hit. Pence around third. And the throw to the plate. Out at the plate, Gerardo Parra. And the first time this year we get to brag on Parra's arm. Evidence that we talked about all spring. One of the great arms in the game. That's one of the reasons the Rockies went out and got him, to improve their defense in left field. He cuts down Hunter Pence, who can run. It remains 1-1. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. And by Reserve Casino, I-70 West, exit 243 in Central City. We go to the bottom of the third inning. Gerardo Parra cuts down Hunter Pence to keep it a 1-1 ball game. The Rockies will have 9-1-2 against Jeff Samardzija in the third. DJ LeMahieu's hitting in that 9-hole, and then it'll be Charlie Blackmon and Trevor Story. Jeff Samardzija has started 3 ball games, or 2 ball games I should say, at Coors Field, and he has a 1.88 ERA.
7 career games in total.
He's pitched well against the Rockies. Lifetime 2.01 ERA. There's a breaking ball for a strike. What an athlete Samardzija was. More well known coming out of college for his exploits for the Irish on the gridiron. One of the great, literally one of the top wide receivers in the country his senior year. He was a consensus All-American. He finished his career in 2005 with 179 catches and 27 touchdowns.
The Cubs took a flyer on him in the 5th round, 149th pick overall in 2006.
And there's a base hit the other way. Who would have thought that?
Go back to Gerardo Parra and his throw. In fact, his 73rd career outfield assist. This one he gets rid of much quicker than the one that he just airmailed. Throws this on the money without a hop. Charges hard, but watch how quick he gets rid of it. That looks like an infielder. Catch it at your waist, separate with the hands and get the arm up. And a real close play on the Subaru Supermo to get Pence on the lettering.
And you rate arms and accuracy all the time. You do that, you know, series to series. And you can't have a more accurate throw than that was.
No, you can't, and that's why he won a Gold Glove in 2011 and 2013, because he also led the league in outfield assists both years.
Yeah, there are not a lot of guys who are going to take liberties on the 2 corner outfielders for the Rockies. Charlie tried to get a bunt down. Duffy has come in on the grass. Crawford's position on the left side, but almost up the middle. I feel like Charlie's had a lot of good at-bats, has very little to show for it so far, and then that starts getting in your head. You can talk all you want, Huey, about process, but you are aware of results, right?
Because when you walk to the plate, you're looking at your average, and it can fluctuate 50, 75 points in a ball game, but it still says 105 right now. And you feel like, man, I've done more than that, but that's my number. Hit some balls hard. Seen a lot of pitches during an at-bat, during a game. You'll also take that broken bat single that just a flare over an infielder's head to help relieve some of that weight.
0-2, way outside, 1-2. LeMahieu at first, 23 out of 26 bags a year ago. So not only a real good number, but a real high percentage.
That's what you want. I'd rather have a higher percentage than somebody say, boy, he steals a lot of bases, but he gets thrown out 20, 30% of the time, 35% of the time.
Well, he had a big jump and then had to shut it down because it frightened him. He had too big a jump.
What? I shouldn't have gotten this lead. Or this jump. He just didn't feel right with his takeoff. Although it looked good.
Well, it looked good, and I think, honestly, because Samardzija still was on the rubber. He had not released the baseball, had not made a move to the plate.
I'll be afraid he was going to step off.
Boy, that's late, but time was grand. I always say that's the toughest thing an umpire has to do, is when the batter calls time, your instinct is to grant time, but you're trying to watch the pitcher and see how far along he is. Fortunately, Charlie was granted time.
Yeah, but both the hitter and the pitcher did the right thing. Charlie stayed in the box. Samardzija still threw the ball to the plate in case it's not granted.
Fourth game of this initial homestand for the Rockies. Tomorrow night, Thursday afternoon, against the Giants. Then it's off to Wrigley Field, Chicago for the Rockies, then on to Cincinnati. Two-two. DJ takes off, back up the middle, knocked down by Samardzija. And because the runner was put in motion, he's in scoring position now for Trevor Story. Story hit a bouncer to third his first time up. lot of national media making requests to visit with Trevor Story. Sports Illustrated's in town to do a piece on him. Outside, and here's one of the big reasons why. Most home runs through a team's first 6 games in any season. Trevor Story has the record to himself. Willie Mays, Mike Schmidt, Larry Walker. How about that group you're flirting with now, huh?
Well, and he was asked about that today as we were in the press conference together, and he just said it seems almost unreal that I'm on that list with these guys, that there's Hall of Famers that I'm passing, that he really hasn't had a chance to think back and reflect on that.
He has said a few times that it's kind of surreal what's taken place, but he also is so grounded that he's taking the right approach each day, and the confidence, can't be any higher. He's got a 2-0 pitch to work with, taken off for third. Is LeMahieu. And he is safe at third as he swipes his first base of the year. That's a big bag there.
Huge, and what a huge jump that he got at second base. The biggest thing when you're trying to steal second base is have some momentum going, because it's a shorter throw for the catcher. You can't go from a standstill unless you have the speed of, say, a Vince Coleman or a Ricky Henderson. DJ 3 strides into that before the pitcher even delivered the ball to the plate.
And now Story has a wonderful opportunity to get his 13th RBI. Just get it in play. The infield's back. Two-1 on Trevor. And at the top of the zone, so it's 2-2.
Both at bats tonight, they pitched him outer third and off the plate. They haven't dared to come in yet.
Two on Trevor. Boy, that cutter was nasty just off the plate. Good eye by Story. When you're confident at the plate, you can spit on a pitch like that, right?
Because you see it out of the hand. When you're not confident, or you're in a 0 for 12, 0 for 14, you start to jump towards the pitcher. You don't have the confidence to wait back, trust your hands, use your hands, because you don't want to be beat.
Mayhew at third, 3-2 on Story. And the foul tip's held, so there's 2 outs.
Cut fastball on the Subaru Supermo.
Great pitch, really is.
It's a pitcher's pitch, 3-2. Trevor is trying to foul it off, just trying to get a piece of it. He did, but fouled it directly into the glove of Trevor Brown.
So Cargo trying to come up with a 2-out knock to put the Rockies back in front. Reached on an error by Brandon Belt in the first. Brought a .375 average into the ballpark tonight. Hitting 16 straight dating back to last year. Way outside. It's time for the Let's Motor Player Profile, brought to you by BMW Mini. How about this? Since the All-Star break last year, Cargo's hit more home runs by a ton, by 9, than any other player in the National League. Chris Davis is now with Oakland.
How about Matt Carpenter on the list?
Yeah, that's a little surprising. Good hitter, though. That's a strike, 2-1. We didn't expand the list out, but there's a group of 3 pretty good players with 18 since the All-Star break last year. Yoenis Cespedes, Bryce Harper, and Matt Kemp. 2-1 on Cargo. And a bouncer to second. Now the Rockies could take advantage of the stolen base by LeMahieu. He's left at third base. We are through 3 innings, 1-1, Rockies and Giants.
.41 pitches, 25 for strikes. I talked to pitching coach Steve Foster today, and I wanted to know what he thought of his first outing in Arizona. Here's what he said.
I saw a guy that showed extraordinary command, and anytime a starting pitcher goes to the mound with extraordinary command, especially of his fastball, because that's where it all starts, and that's what he showed. And he was outstanding at getting first pitch strikes, and we've preached it a lot, but when guys go out there and actually do what we've been working on, and that's getting ahead of hitters, you're going to be more successful when he could use all of his pitches.
And Jeff, you mentioned it, 85% fastballs, worked the slider in there, curve barely, didn't throw the changeup, but it's those fastballs for strikes that made Chatwood successful.
And a lot of first pitch strikes, Mark. That's the other thing that helps any pitcher.
He's falling behind Matt Duffy, 2-0 here. Duffy hit a fly ball to Cargo his first time up. Duffy in his rookie year hit .295 with 12 home runs, 77 RBIs. As you saw the comparison between Chatwood and Samardzija, now it's 3-0. Giants are a good offensive team. So far this year, 3rd in the league in runs. The Rockies are 2nd, the Cardinals #1. And that's not in there, so it's a 4-pitch walk to Duffy, and that's the first walk issued this year by Tyler Chatwood.
Be sure to catch the best fireworks show in town this summer on Friday, July 8th and Saturday, July 9th, following the game against the Philadelphia Phillies.
Well, Garrett Atkins was a big star at UCLA, so was Brandon Crawford. Been a storybook baseball career for Crawford because he's a Northern California kid who was raised on the Giants double play balls. There's one and there's two.
That's how you get that double play after walking a guy on 4 pitches. Roll over. This is just like during batting practice when you're trying to get some work in.
Well, with Chatwood on the mound, you should turn some double plays because he gets a high rate of ground balls. 2 outs for Angel Pagan. Rockies will stay more conventional with their infield defense, at least initially in the count with Pagan. He punched one through the left side with 3 on the right side in his first at bat. And there's a first pitch curveball again for a strike.
And having no fear throwing a first pitch curveball. Hitters aren't looking for it. I can't remember the last time I talked to a hitter said, yeah, I went up there looking for a first pitch curveball. No, you don't. No. You're looking first pitch fastball. Maybe a changeup, but you say, no, I dare him to throw one. And then he does.
That's why it doesn't even have to be a great breaking ball.
That's why
the first pitch of the game to get him over curveball.
Yeah, that's why it's called a get him over curveball.
Yep.
Just get it over somewhere in the zone.
Here's the 0-2. Just off the plate, 1-2. Just feel like Pagan torments the Rockies, and the statistics bear that out. 313 since he put on a Giant uniform after leaving the Mets against the Rockies. Hit 338 against Colorado pitching last year. It was an odd year last year. Giants didn't get a ring, but they still won 84 games. Soft serve to center field for a base hit. Like a guy coming to the net just kind of blocked the return. So the Giants, 2014 a ring, 2012 a ring, and 2010 a ring. Really one of the great 5-year runs since the Yankees had the good runs around the turn of the century.
I think that man right there, Bruce Bochy, has had a lot to do with that. The all-time winners in not only baseball, but especially for the Giants.
He's going to be, when he retires, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's going to go in as a manager. People may have forgotten, Bochy managed the Padres for 12 years and then came north, and this is now his 10th year with the Giants. And he's #1 among active managers in wins. Dusty's active again. He's got a good ball club in Washington.
Just back after taking a few years off, and Mike Scioscia has been in LA since 2001. Buck Showalter, Terry Francona.
Scioscia is now 17 years at the helm of the Angels. Boch is next in terms of tenure. That's fouled off by Trevor Brown. Joe Girardi now 9 years in the Bronx.
Years.
This is wild, because then next on the list is two guys who have 7 years with their club. Ned Yost. Doesn't it not seem like yesterday that Ned Yost was with Milwaukee? 7 years now as a skipper in Kansas City, and a ring to show for it. Buck Showalter now 7 years with the Orioles. 1-2 on Trevor Brown. Again, playing tonight for Buster Posey, who has a sore instep from a foul ball while catching. Swung on and missed. Chatwood, with his second strikeout of the ball game, gets Trevor Brown. There was a hit and a walk, a man left. The Rockies won, the Giants won. Giants do play good ball games against one another. Time for the timeless moment, brought to you by Coors Banquet. Those cars don't look like they arrived yesterday off the assembly line. There's Richard Nixon. First game played at Candlestick Park. The Giants beat the Cardinals 3-1 April 12, 1960. Before the $15 million stadium opened, he was heralded by then Vice President Nixon, who said, "This ball is pulled foul." He said this will be one of the most beautiful baseball parks of all time. Well, what Richard Nixon meant to say is that it will be one of the coldest parks of all time.
And or one of the most windy parks of all time.
One of the most miserable parks to sit in July and watch a game at night. That stadium is no more.
No, until you go and play there, people talk about it, but a ball would go up in the air and the dust would be swirling around and you're trying to track it down. Oh man, nightmare still.
1-1, driven the other way, a long way. Foul off the bat of Nolan Arenado.
The other thing for Candlestick too is the visitors' locker room was way down the right field line. So once you left there, you had to make sure you packed everything.
Your
lunch, your snack, jacket, or three.
Yeah, down jacket. Strike three. Nolan knew it. So Samardzija with his second strikeout. One out. That'll bring up Gerardo Parra, who singled his first time. Huey, Holiday would look for first pitch curveball.
That's because Matt,
certain guys crush it.
That's because Matt was so good with hitting that off-speed pitch.
This is one thing. You and I have talked about this on the air numerous times, and Addie's with us tonight on social media. Here's first pitch to from Samardzija to Parra on the outside corner, or just off, ball one. Guys would get ahead of Matt, 0-2, 1-2, and they throw a slider, and you go, why are you doing that? Nobody hits breaking balls better than Matt Holiday.
And he would crush it.
He would crush it. He'd hit him out to right center field.
It wouldn't be little flares.
So we'd be like, thank you very much. Denard Span makes the catch, 2 outs. That'll bring up Mark Reynolds. Reminder, at the end of this half inning, we're going to go to the Rockies dugout. Scheduled to visit with Walt Weiss. Do that every Tuesday at home. Second ball game for Samardzija in a Giant uniform. Got it by Reynolds, who socked the single to right in his initial at bat.
Samardzija's incorporating some Cueto in his delivery. Watch how he'll get it, and then he'll turn away from the plate like Cueto, but faster. Johnny wouldn't be that fast. Subaru Supermo. See the numbers and the letters on the back. Two and one.
Well, that happens with pitching staffs. Guys adopt something where they learn how to throw a pitch. Jorge De La Rosa is helping Jordan Lyles with a split finger change. 3-1.
Always trying to learn and improve and get better.
Sure. It's that old line. If you're not trying to get better, you're going the other way.
Somebody's coming to take your place.
3-1. And this is a pop foul out of play. Mark Reynolds with the Cardinals last year. 13 home runs, part-time duty with St. Louis. This is the 7th big league team for Reynolds. 3-2. And ball 4. You know, we were talking about that staff that's been put together by Brian Sabian. They have 11 World Series appearances and 8 rings between Mad Bum, Johnny Cueto, Jeff Samardzija, Jake Peavy, and Matt Cain. Samardzija's the only one who's never been in a World Series, but he was an All-Star. Look how many All-Star games you're talking about. 4, 5, 8, 11 All-Star appearances. Pretty good staff when Matt Cain's your number 5 starter, right?
Yeah, it is, and he's throwing better than he did last year.
He's healthier. There's Cain. He's going to throw Thursday. The always entertaining Jake Peavy tomorrow,
who's sitting right next to him. Dave Rigetti behind them. Long-time pitching coach for the Giants.
That's a strike on Hundley. 1-1. Their staff hasn't changed, and you know why should it? They've seen a lot of success. Tim Flannery's the only guy. Yeah.
And he just chose to retire. He'd been in the game. Said, you know what? I need some time for
play my music.
Yeah.
He's doing some television. Yeah, he's doing some television. He's still around the Giants. One and 2. And here's their staff. Same as last year. Bam Bam. Hensley Mullins is the hitting coach. Dave Rigetti, of course, as Huey was chatting about. It's their longtime pitching coach. Billy Hayes came out of the bullpen. He's at first base. Started last year. Roberto Kelly went from first base to third base. And Ron Wotus has been with Boch for a long time. Mark Gardner's out in the bullpen.
Gardner's been there 14 years as a coach. 6 as a player. So the last 20 he's put on a Giants uniform.
Makes it easy.
Real easy. Also from Fresno.
Doesn't have to change his wardrobe. Right? 1-2. And Nick fouls that one off. There are 8 players that were on all 3 World Series teams. Jeremy Affeldt, who just retired after last year. Sergio Romo will be throwing the slider when he's 88. Javi Lopez, a former Rocky, who's had a terrific career as a situational lefty. Santiago Casilla, their current closer. Mad Bum, Tim Lincecum, Matt Cain, Buster Posey. So 6 are left. He held up, looked like. Checked it out at first with Rob Drake. There's Buster again on the right. Buster not playing tonight with a sore instep. Took a foul ball off that instep on his right foot. And if you're wondering about Tim Lincecum, he had hip surgery in the autumn, and he's been rehabbing, and word is he's getting close enough that at some point in time he's probably going to have one of those, you know, showcases. Some high school field, and there'll be all these scouts around with guns. See how healthy Tim is. It's inside. 3-2.
And it was inside on the Subaru strike zone.
So Reynolds will be off with the pitch. 3-2 on Hundley with 2 outs in a 1-1 ball game. And fouled off. Mark will have to come back. Nick grounded into a 6-4-3 double play in the second. With runners on first and third, nobody out. Parra scored on it. That's how the Rockies have their lone run. And ball 4. So Samardzija With 2 outs, has walked Reynolds and Hundley in succession, and that'll bring up Tyler Chatwood. Chatty grounded out to second his first time up against the hard-throwing Samardzija. Imagine in high school, and actually Jeff tells the story that, you know, it's always, you know, some mom or dad doing the PA at high school games, and nobody on the road, obviously at home you'd assume they get it right, nobody can get his name right. He's of Serbian descent. Grew up in Indiana, and of course stayed to go to college in Indiana at South Bend. And another ground ball to second. That'll end the inning. When we come back, Walt Weiss will join us from the Rockies dugout. Colorado 1 and San Francisco 1. With Jeff Houston and Mark Stout, I'm Drew Goodman. Tyler Chatwood completing his warm-up pitches. It'll be 9-1-2 for the Giants in the 5th inning. Jeff Samardzija then the top of the order. 6 hits for the Giants. The Rockies have 3 hits. We're going to try to get Walt Weiss. Sometimes it's a scramble down there between innings in the dugout, but Chatwood has pitched well and Samardzija's pitched well.
Kind of a pitcher's duel. What we thought might happen is happening. Of course, Tyler Chatwood following up what he did down in Arizona tonight. Maybe not quite as sharp as he was down there, but that's relative. He still has only given up the 1 run, so he's done fine tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to go to the Rockies dugout right now. Walt Weiss joins us. Walt, we're just talking upstairs about this. A pitcher's duel. Samardzija's throwing the ball well, and Tyler's doing similar to what he did the other day. Maybe not quite as sharp with his fastball command, but good enough, right?
Yeah, I think that's right on. I think both guys are throwing the ball well. Chatty had a little bit of traffic, but he's pitched through it. And yeah, Samardzija, he's real tough so far.
And speaking of Samardzija, he's made some pitches when he's had to.
Exactly, you know, and he's pitched pretty well here in the past, so he's doing it again.
Pretty good wideout too, by the way, Walt.
Yeah, I think he runs a real good go route.
Walt, good luck the rest of the way. We
All right.
appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Walt.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that's Walt Weiss downstairs. And one of the biggest X and O guys in football, or excuse me, in baseball, guy who absolutely loves football, is Walt Weiss, who had a juggernaut youth football team for several years.
Parker Hawks.
Parker Hawks, one of his star players was his son Brody. Remember Walt telling me they went to this big Las Vegas tournament and beat like 3 national powerhouses, one out of the Oakland area, one out of the Las Vegas area, another Southern California team. But Walt loves to draw up X's and O's, and he's developed a real nice friendship with Adam Gase, who's now the head football coach with the Miami Dolphins. 1-2 on Samardzija. And Samardzija reaches for one, hits it to Charlie Blackmon at center. That'll bring up Denard Span. Let's flash back for a moment. The South Bend wideout, Jeff Samardzija. Now he could go to. He's separating from the DB there. 6'5", 225 pounds. And had he not chosen baseball, he would have had an NFL career.
See a few jump balls in the end zone with him.
And he grew up in Indiana, so you know he was a good high school basketball player as well. Span takes a breaking ball for a strike. Denard doubled to left in the third.
Span lost his helmet with that fastball in.
From Garrett Atkins, love walk. Glad to see he still found time to work out now that he's a big league manager. You know, if all the managers get together, this is on one hop to DJ. Nice soft hands, 2 outs. If all the managers to get together, say in November, to have a little workout,
power lift,
a power lift, powerlifting competition. I'm putting my money on that guy.
Still enjoys working out. Why not?
Yeah. 2 outs, and Joe Panic will come up, a strikeout and a fly ball to left field. On the outside corner, that was
painted.
Well executed, that fastball away. Panic in 100 games last year had an OPS of .833. He really missed him down the stretch.
Of all the injuries they had last year, this year they have 0 guys on the DL.
This pitch 1-2.
And that
Staying
pitch
away
was
from Panic.
Yeah, but that pitch was set up by the very first pitch on the Subaru strike zone. Fastball that tailed, so you set up away, use the changeup. Looks like the fastball, and then it dies at the plate.
2 outs, nobody on. 1-2 on Joe Panic in a 1-1 ball game, top of 5. They go away again, and it's shot down the third base line. Fair ball. Parra got to play it off that short wall, and it's a double for Panic. And that'll bring up Hunter Pence, who's driven in the only run for the Giants with a 3rd inning single with 2 outs.
This is about as far in on the hands on the Subaru Supermo, and he just fought it off inside the bag at third base. Could probably thrown one down the line any more than that ball off the bat of Joe Panic.
So Pence, who's just 2 for 18 against Chatwood, but the second hit came in his last at bat. Pence, who has great bat speed. Big swing, no baseball. It's 0-1. You know, it's one thing to to wear the high socks. His pants are so short they're above the knees.
Had him made that way.
Basically wearing, you're not even wearing Bermuda shorts.
The key is getting the socks long enough to go up over your knees.
Boy, Pence, that is, I'm badly fooled, and it's already by me. I don't even know why I swung, but I did.
Must have been thinking off speed. This was 92 at the knees.
Panic at second, 1-2, and this ball's fouled off. Hunter Pence, a product of UTA, Texas Arlington. Boy, that's a nasty pitch.
He's been
able to locate glove side really well tonight.
For a guy that starts on the third base side of the rubber, that tells you something about being able to command to the glove side. Off the end of the bat for Pence. You have him set up for a slider away or fastball in. Decided to go fastball in.
Pitch count's excellent. Pitchers average about 17.1 pitches, starting pitchers, 17.1 pitches per inning. That was a year ago. So, I mean, if you're around 15, which Chatwood is right now, it's just terrific. Gives you a chance to pitch late in the ball game. This ball's crunched. Pence has hit it out to dead center field. The Giants have a 3-1 lead on Hunter Pence's second home run of the year.
The Giants had already come in with setting a franchise record by hitting a home run in their first 7 ball games. Now make it 8, 15 home runs total as a club.
Well, they hit 14 home runs all of April last year. They've already exceeded that.
And he opened the hips up, and that ball was hit very well to dead center field. He knew it off the bat. It was just about how far was it going to go.
Fouled off by Brandon Belt. It's 0-1. Belt's 1 for 2. That's career home run number 196 for Hunter Pence. And he is strong. It doesn't look pretty. We've talked about it many times. But he has tremendous bat speed. It's a check swing broken bat that results in the final out. 2-out double and then the home run by Hunter Pence. It's 3-1 San Francisco, middle of 5. LeMahieu to lead it off. West Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. We're in Lodo. Rockies play the Giants first time this year. First to 3, first to 19 overall, and the Giants behind a Hunter Pence home run a few minutes ago have a 3-1 lead. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, Mark Stout wandering around the ballpark. DJ, then Charlie Blackmon and Trevor Story. DJ had a base hit in the 3rd against Jeff Samardzija, who's thrown the ball very well. LeMahieu, a lifetime average at .314 against the Giants. Among active players, that's the 4th best average against San Francisco. Chris Iannetta has the best. How about that? .329.
Just remember, Iannetta, he just hit Lincecum so well.
He owned Lincecum.
him, and it wasn't just singles; it was home runs.
And when Lincecum was in his prime, when he was winning Cy Young awards. Albert Pujols 320, Jay Bruce 319, then DJ, and behind him is Andrew McCutcheon. So a good list. It's going to get out of play. Samardzija last year with the White Sox, 32 starts, 11 and 13, a 4.96 ERA through 214 plus innings. But he gave up the most earned runs of any starting pitcher in baseball.
And the strikeouts were down.
They were down at 160. He's normally a much higher strikeout guy than that. And tonight he hasn't struck out many, but he's commanded the zone. He's got 2 strikeouts, 2 walks tonight. He's allowed 3 hits. All singles. It's the club in the Rockies that have hit 17 home runs in their first 6 ball games. Ten down in Arizona in the first 3 games of the year. 7 against the Padres over the weekend. Padres won the first 2. Rockies bounced back on Sunday with a 6-3 victory. And this ball driven to center, but he hit it too hard. So the Giants, unlike the Padres, played DJ a little more straight up. If that was against San Diego, that would have gone to the wall, would have been a triple. Charlie Blackmon coming up. The Rockies' upcoming home schedule is brought to you by Remax. The next homestand, the Dodgers are in over the weekend, and then Clint Hurdle's Pirates for 4 ball games.
Dodgers were beat today in their home opener, lost 4-2 to Arizona.
Blackmon takes a strike. You know that route we always take to the ballpark? Make a right off Sunset to come up the hill to Chavez Ravine. The street has a new name.
I heard that.
Vin Scully Avenue. Of course, my question is, how'd they wait so long?
Right. I mean, that should have been 20, 30 years ago.
Right. Final year for Vin, 88 years young. I still, we'll talk a lot about it when we're in LA. I just shake my head. Just calling Dodger games when they were in Brooklyn. This ball pulled toward the hole and knocked through. So Charlie's got himself a knock with 1 out in the 5th inning.
As a hitter, you hit this ball, you know it has a chance. You're running down the line saying, get through, don't dive, don't make that play on me. So close on the Subaru Supermo, but still no leather for Joe Panik.
So I ran into a good friend of ours earlier today at the health club, Big Bill. Legendary pizza, Big Bill's Pizza, down south. I mean, he prefers to be known now as Medium Bill, but you know, Bill, former Nugget assistant coach, and he said, you know, normally this is for me basketball time of year, but I don't want to miss a Trevor Story at bat.
Nor should you.
Exactly. He goes, I'm all in. Story, ground out and a strikeout so far in this affair. There's a lot of people out there who are saying the same thing. I'm not going to miss when 27 comes to the plate. There's another one.
You're taking video.
Yep. He wants a copy of what is about to transpire. Somebody tweeted me a while ago and wanted to know what Addy thought about Trevor wearing his number. I'm sure he's very proud.
Should be.
Yeah, another good hitter.
Strong right-handed hitters were both of them.
0-2 right now in Story.
Everything away to Trevor. First at bat, second at bat. They're not challenging in.
Well, we learned during spring training. And we've learned it a little bit this year. Certainly Zach Greinke learned it. He can take a fastball away and hit it into the seats in right. Marja, 82 pitches in. Cargo's on deck.
Set up for a fastball away.
Here are the home runs by pitch type and location that Story has hit so far.
Well, it tells you I can hit anything. I can hit the fastball away. This first one right there, that's his very first home run. The one at the top is the one he hit yesterday, or excuse me, on Sunday.
The one that was off the plate in, pulled his hands in and hit it out to left. Good eye. Borderline pitch, as you see on that Subaru strike zone. Confirming with home plate umpire Sam Holbrook. You can read his lips. 2-2. Gets him with a fastball away again. So they're 2 outs, and that'll bring up Cargo.
How did they pitch Trevor Story? Well, they started off with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball called for a strike, again to follow it up with 93, 0-2. Then a cut fastball off the plate, foul ball. At 93 was up, 2-2 count, and then got an extra mile per hour at 94.
Cargo reached on an error and a ground ball to second. That's a laser up the middle. So Marja somehow got out of the way.
Carries over to a 17-game hit streak from last year. 7 games this year. Just a missile right back up the middle, spinning Samardzija.
We say it all the time, and we're not just bragging on a guy who plays for the Rockies. Cargo hits the ball as hard as anybody in the game. Here's evidence of it. The 5 hardest hit balls this year by exit velocity, baseball wide. Cargo has 2 of the top 5, and we'll see where this one ends up. We'll look at StatCast in a little bit, because I'll tell you what, that was
an
absolute missile off his bat. That's a strike on Nolan. So 2 on with 2 outs. An opportunity here for the Rockies, trailing 3-1.
Well, if there's one guy that could put the Rockies ahead, it's Nolan. He's due to hit a 3-run bomb.
He's already got 1 of those this year. And he got underneath it. Shallow left center field. Crawford backpedaling, called off. It drops. 1 run is scored. Here comes Cargo, and the throw to the plate, out at the plate. The Rockies get a run on the pop-up that dropped, and they make it 3-2.
out and was yelling, "I have it," because Crawford thought he was camped underneath it, waving his arms. "I got it," called off. Cargo's running, Stu's waving him. But because where the ball ended up, pretty short throw from left center field to get Cargo.
Line drive right to DJ LeMahieu, 1 out.
Cargo slide at home, and kind of hate to see somebody going in head first at home. But trying to dive in and reach back with that left hand to catch the bag. Trevor Brown caught Cargo on the left shoulder right before the hand touched the plate.
So you score that at home as a single because nobody got any leather on it. So it's a single and an RBI. 7-2 on the put out on Cargo. It's 3-2, 1 out, and Brandon Crawford takes inside ball 1. Single and a 4-6-3 double play off the bat of Crawford tonight. Home runs last year, 84 driven in for Crawford. Moved up from a guy that would hit in the 8th spot to a guy that could hit in an RBI slot for Bruce Bochy. He signed through 2021. Belt's now signed through 2021. They have Posey locked up for quite a while.
All those guys were draft picks of the Giants.
Yeah, what's really interesting, Huey, and I'm glad you brought this up, 27 of their 40 on their 40-man roster are homegrown players. That's the highest mark in baseball. And you look at their infield, they're all homegrown. You know, you got Duffy at third, Crawford, Panic, Belt, normally Buster Posey behind the plate, all homegrown. And that's a base hit for Crawford the other way with 1 out. 9th hit for the Giants.
Individual game day suites and party facilities are now on sale. Coors Field has something for everyone and every budget. Go to Rockies.com/suites for more information.
Here's Angel Pagan. Angel off to a good start on the season. Brought a .320 average in. He's 2 for 2 tonight. Gimped his way through 133 games last year. Hit .262. He's another guy that Chatwood had his number. 3 for 17 coming in. He's got 2 hits tonight. Hunter Pence has hurt Chatwood this evening. An RBI single and a 2-run home run. He's driven in all 3 for the Giants.
Now for Tyler, 18 for 26 first pitch strikes.
Ball, 1 strike. There's the ball strike ratio. Pretty good for Chatwood.
Carried over from that start in Arizona. It's good in that start too.
And a strike.
Dots the Subaru strike zone.
One out. Brandon Crawford at first.
Awkward swing from Angel.
But he did that, I think it was his last at bat. He fouled off a couple nasty pitches. And remember, he kind of just blocked the ball to center field for a hit.
A half swing.
Like a guy making a volley on the tennis court.
Just tried to return it.
Yeah. Missing Gurka in the Rockies pen. Yeah, I'm looking at those flags again, Huey. It's strange that ball wasn't caught off the bat of Arenado. Glad it wasn't.
Well, exactly. But the winds changed 3 or 4 different times tonight. There was nothing happening during batting practice, and then there was some blowing in the first couple innings, and then it was blowing out to right, maybe in the 3rd or 4th inning. Not a whole lot going on where you would think there would be miscommunication on a fly ball. But as you mentioned, hey, you'll take it. They're going to give you that gift. You take it.
This could be 2. Glove flip on the first. Pagan beat the return throw, so there's 2 outs.
Both guys did everything they could to speed that up. It just wasn't hit hard enough. Trevor didn't take the time to get it out of his glove with his bare hand, so he just flipped it out of his glove. DJ comes across the bag like your top, left foot on the bag, take your right foot to the ball and make the throw, but Pagan hitting from the left side of the box beats it out. Comes across, clears himself from the runner. And by a step, Pagan beats it.
Trevor Brown, ground ball to 3rd, and a strikeout for the Giant backup catcher. Giants been averaging better than 6 runs a game here in the first few days of the season. Trevor Brown has hit another one. Broke up a no-hitter against the Dodgers, and he just goes deep for the 2nd time in his career. 2-run shot, and it makes it 5-2 San Francisco.
Both home runs tonight have come with 2 outs. Quick bat on the inside for Trevor Brown. The Subaru Supermo. And the hips start to swing, the hands follow, the bat's extension of the arms.
And that's fouled off by Samardzija. Trevor Brown, 24-year-old, Valencia, California, 10th round pick 3 years ago, has made an impact on the days Buster Posey has not been available. Line to deep right. That's over the head of Cargo. And now he's going to try to get Samardzija at 2nd, but ball shot past Trevor Story, and it's a double for Samardzija.
That ball had some backspin off the bat of Samardzija.
Well, he hit the ball decently his first 2 times up. Pretty deep fly balls that you can say he just missed, and that thing was well struck.
And then Cargo did everything he could do, playing it off the wall in the attempt to nab Samardzija at 2nd base.
Hits all of a sudden for the Giants. Tyler Chatwood's a guy that typically doesn't give up a lot of home runs. Ground ball, diving stop by Reynolds to Chatwood to end the inning. Nice job, Mark Reynolds. But damage done with 2 outs. A 2-run home run by Trevor Brown. And the Giants have a 5-2 advantage, middle of 6 at Coors Field. The Giants, with a 5-2 record, have utilized the long ball against Tyler Chatwood tonight. Hunter Pence drove in the first 3, a single and then a 2-run home run, and then moments ago Trevor Brown with his 2nd career home run. And Jeff Samardzija, Jeff Houston, has pitched well.
Only given up the 2 runs, and it could be even less than that if they catch the fly ball, just 1 run, but 6 strikeouts. Has made pitches when he's had to. If there's been traffic out there, been able to settle that down, and a little bit different outing this time for Tyler Chatwood than we saw down in Arizona. But it's just a couple pitches. I'd like to think he'd like to have that pitch back to Hunter Pence, and then of course the one to Trevor Brown back.
Plenty of time for the Rockies, 12 outs to work with, as Gerardo Parra, who's 1 for 2, will step up first against Samardzija in the 6th. Mark Reynolds, Nick Hundley after that. Strike on Gerardo.
Gerardo, 365 clip last season when he was leading off an inning. Led off an inning earlier tonight with the base hit. It was in the 2nd.
This ball is playable for Pagan. Foul ground. Check this out. The last 38 games at Coors Field between these 2 clubs. The Rockies have won 19, the Giants have won 19. But it goes beyond that. The run differential, 2. The Rockies have scored 2 more runs than the Giants. And how about the hits? Coming into tonight, identical, 408.
Or the 10+ hit games.
Yeah,
I mean, it's about as close as evenly matched as you could come up with.
Yeah, really. Reynolds has been on twice, a single and a walk. Mark was not pointing at Jeff Samardzija, he was pointing at a wrapper blowing between, there it is, between Samardzija and home plate. He said, I'm going to wait for that wrapper to drop. And he hits on up in the air. Crawford's waiting on him.
The Rockies and executives partnering to invest in children are holding a children's book drive on Sunday, April 24th. Drop off your gently used books at all gates prior to the game.
Nick Hundley with 2 outs. Nick walked in the fourth, also a 6-4-3 double play, and this is slowly hit to third, and Duffy on the moves gets Hundley. So a quick inning, a 1-2-3 frame for Jeff Samardzija. 5-2 San Francisco as we go to the seventh.
Top seven. Giants up 5-2. I want to give you a few injury updates, and we'll start with Adam Ottavino coming back from Tommy John surgery. He had a bullpen on Wednesday coming up. Last time out, he threw 35 pitches. There's Otto in the dugout, and he's been able to throw all of his pitches. He will head to Arizona on Friday and continue his rehab. He'll rejoin the team when the Rockies go to Arizona at the end of the month. Daniel Descalso went to Arizona Monday, saw the team doctor today. He's got that pisiform injury. I asked him what it was, and that's what he said. He gave me the technical term. It's in his left hand, and he was to see the doctor today. They'll go from there and see when he can begin actually catching a baseball and swinging a bat. John Gray pitched for Modesto and got a good report from his outing on Sunday. He is going to pitch again on Friday. They got to kind of lengthen him out. He only threw about 64, 65 pitches. So there's an update on 3 players for everybody and for Drew and Jeff, guys.
Mark, we appreciate it. Double switch. Ben Paulson's in the game. Mark Reynolds out. Jason Gurka on here in the 7th inning. Paulson will lead off next inning. Joe Panik, the 2-hole hitter, takes a breaking ball for ball 1. And the numbers on Gurka were great during spring training, but it's been rough so far in April.
Well, those spring training numbers, he was 1-0 with the 169 in 10 ball games. Got to get back to what he was doing in spring training, and that was locating his fastball, and then the curveball was equally as effective.
Paulson with an easy play. The day after every Rockies victory, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. Use the promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. Now, the guy that's done a lot of damage tonight, he's at the plate right now, Hunter Pence. Grounded out to short his first time. Then he had an RBI single with 2 outs and 2 strikes. And then the long 2-run home run to dead center field. Doug, you ever get a distance on that home run?
Here it is back in the 5th inning.
455.
Pence had come into the game just 1 for 16 against Tyler.
Right back at Gurka. Nice job. 2 outs. Well, if it went 455, it's one of the longest home runs in baseball this year, because the longest is owned by Nolan Arenado, who hit one 462 feet. Another tweet from our Tuesday night tweeter, Garrett Atkins. When are we going to get a Stu Cole commercial? My first hitting coach in minor league baseball. Stu would be great because Stu could do some deadpan humor, I bet.
He's been in the game a long time.
What a good man.
He is. Every day he has something to talk about. There's Stu.
Pride of
Hitting
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Managed. Third base coach. Infield coach.
Yeah. And that's what he's doing right now. And if you're saying, well, why Stu got batting gloves on? Folks, it's gotten a little chilly.
It's beautiful this morning. Supposed to warm up again tomorrow and then for the day game on Thursday.
0-2 misses, 1-2. Two. Top foul by Belt. Belt's new deal, which ate up a couple of years of 4 years, actually, I should say, of free agency, 2 years of arbitration years, north of $75 million.
And he was a 5th round pick in 2009.
Towering fly ball, long run for Cargo, won't matter, it's back in the seats. Belt out of the University of Texas. And he got it. Good inning for Gurka. 1-2-3 in the 7th. The Rockies have to get to work offensively. They're down 5-2. Stretch time at Coors Field. Here's our Cooney Lexus look back. San Francisco leading 5-2. Hunter Pence with a 2-run home run. This one traveled 455 feet. And then Trevor Brown, the backup catcher's second career home run. For UCLA, Bruin Giants, who've hit 16 home runs this year, utilized the long ball to take that 5-2 lead. Ben Paulson's first at bat, as Jeff Samardzija continuing on in the 7th inning. Paulson in a double switch leading things off, then DJ LeMahieu and Charlie Blackmon against Samardzija, who has pitched very well tonight. He's pounded the strike zone. He's ahead 0-2. He's allowed just 6 hits, and one of them was kind of a gift hit, as Jeff described. It was a pop-up in left center field that should have been caught to end the inning. The Rockies got a run on that pop-up that dropped off the bat of Nolan Arenado. Boy, that's a nasty cutter. No swing, says Jerry Davis.
And with enough speed on it, too, it's really hard to pick up. 91 miles an hour on the Subaru Supermo. Not much vertical movement on it, but still gets in on the hands.
And that is strikeout number 4 for Jeff Samardzija. We'd like to welcome all of our Falcon broadband viewers from Colorado Springs. Thanks for watching the Rockies on Root Sports, and be sure to tell us where you're watching from on Twitter at @RootSports_RM. DJ's hit the ball hard twice against Samardzija. A single to right and a line shot to center that hung up long enough for Denard Span to make a catch on. The Giants play kind of straight up with LeMahieu, which most teams don't. The Padres certainly did. And that's 5 in a row set down by Samardzija.
And 19 of 27 first pitch strikes. 8 grounds out. That fly out by DJ makes it 7, 4 strikeouts, and a couple of base on balls.
Way inside on Charlie, 1-1. It was the 100th pitch of the evening for Samardzija.
Finally have somebody up in their bullpen. It's just Javi Lopez just playing some light catch.
Well, here's why. And this is one of the reasons Bruce Bochy's such a great manager. He's up for one reason. He's up in case Blackmon and Story reach and Cargo comes up to tie the game. Then Bochy would march out of the dugout and he'd bring Lopez in. It's an easy play for Crawford, and Samardzija is getting stronger as the evening wears on. 6 straight, 5-2 San Francisco. A lot of Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Bank of the West. For a personal approach to banking, go West, Bank of the West. And by GMC. We go to the 8th inning. It's the Giants 5 and the Rockies 2. Drew Goodman, Jeff Hewson, and Mark Stout. Matt Duffy in the 8th inning will lead it off. He's hitting in the 5th spot in Bochy's lineup. Jason Gurka's 2nd inning of work. Justin Miller for the Rockies is now up.
Quick and efficient inning for Jason in the 7th.
Drops a curveball in the lap of Duffy for a strike. Duffy's 0 for 2 and a walk. One of a number of high quality left side of the infield guys that have come out of Long Beach State in the last 15 years. Tulowitzki, obviously, Longoria, Crosby, Matt Duffy.
They allowed, with Matt Duffy, that allowed them to just tell Pablo Sandoval, well, you can take your services elsewhere. And he took him to Boston. Although Kung Fu Panda isn't playing much in Boston. He just took his services there.
Yeah, Kung Fu Panda's getting paid a lot of money to spectate. I think that when Giambi arrived at Long Beach State, this ball's hit the pretty deep left field. Parr is back. Did Giambi play a little third base initially?
I don't remember that.
You weren't going to the games back then?
No, I wasn't. Well, fans, April 28th is Weather and Science Day. Come enjoy a pregame educational program featuring Colorado State University, 9 News, and Spangler Science. Register today by calling 303 Rockies. Steve Spangler always has some neat tricks up his sleeve with that Weather and Science.
Pagan from the right side takes a strike. Angel has been on 3 times, 2 for 3, reached on a fielder's choice and came home on the 2-run home run by Trevor Brown in the 6th inning. Time of night, Sergio Romo usually gets up, and he's just done that. Giants, you know, you think about the 3 world championships, Jeff, and we talked about that core group. Bullpens usually are a fluid situation. Rarely do they stay intact for a couple years in a row, much less 3 years. Seems like the Giants have had the same cast of characters down there for the most part forever. I mean, Affelt just retired, but Romo's been down there forever. Casillas been down there forever. Javi Lopez been down there for a long time.
And they might change roles during that time, but it doesn't matter what they're doing. If Bruce says, hey, I need you in the 7th inning or the 8th inning, that's what they'll do.
One, 2, and this is lofted to shallow center, and it's going to drop in front of Charlie. So Pagan has his 3rd hit of the night, and that'll bring up Trevor Brown again. Hey, Giambi. Dougie did a little fast research. See, we were right. We were speculating that he may have played 3rd base before he went over to 1st. Well, actually, what did you didn't know?
I didn't know.
I thought you were watching it.
No.
I didn't realize it. He was a 3-time all-conference 3rd baseman. Well, then he got big and strong. He moved to 1st base, and just hit bombs.
Hit bombs, and
Played DH.
Took some walks.
2 outs. Trevor Brown, 2-run home run in the 6th inning to give the Giants this 3-run lead they're enjoying. They've out-hit the Rockies 12-6. For the moment, Jeff Samardzij's on deck.
I'm sure there's somebody warming up down underneath, but they only have 3 bench guys. I think Bochy would like to stay away from Posey. He doesn't really want to use him.
Well, the way Samardzija swung the bat last time, and he'd do this with Bumgarner too. Just because, even if he comes up here, his number comes up, I think he would hit with the 3-run lead and not pitch in the bottom of the 8th.
Highly possible. Samardzija does have 102 pitches through 98 his last start, but he looked like it wasn't an effort to throw those 102 pitches.
Bochy's aware of the long haul. He has such great confidence in Romo and Casilla. Runner going, and Huntley's throw not going to get Pagan.
Nice jump from Pagan, head down, not worried about the hitter.
Second stolen base this year for Pagan. Three and 1. Now 3-2.
Giants tonight 3 for 6 with runners in scoring position.
.316 average coming in their first 7 games, runners in scoring position. Kirk has got to make a pitch here. And this ball's walloped to left field again. It's over the head of Parra and out of the ballpark. Trevor Brown with 2 2-run home runs, both with 2 outs. And now the Giants are ahead 7-2.
Third career home run for Trevor Brown. Curveball right on the sweet spot on the Subaru Supermo. He wasn't sure if it was going to get out. He did make it by a couple rows.
If I'm Buster Posey, I'm nervous right now. He may get Wally pipped.
Well, I don't. Maybe not quite that bad, but it is one of those nice to remember for Trevor Brown.
Well, he's now out homered, much more famous starting catcher. Posey has 2 home runs. Trevor Brown now has 3. There's Brown. And Samardzija strikes out. 2-out blows against the Rockies tonight have been most costly. 7-2 San Francisco. Minnesota pitching performance. Jeff Samardzija, Tyler Chatwood, and the edge obviously goes to Samardzija. He's still out there, in fact. He's going to start the 8th inning. He's allowed 2 runs on 6 hits, and one of them was a gift, a pop-up that dropped. He has struck out 4, walked 2. Those came in succession back in the 4th inning with 2 outs and didn't hurt him. So Jeff Samardzija, who had a so-so first outing in Milwaukee, has had a very strong outing here at 20th and Blake. 7-2 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Trevor Story, Carlos Gonzalez, Nolan Arenado against Samardzija.
And this might be the only hitter that Jeff faces this inning, because they have the lefty again, Lopez up in the bullpen, and Sergio Romo, so he might mix and match moving forward after Trevor.
And a strike at the knees. Garrett Atkins has been tweeting all night for us, and we appreciate it. Addy, it's nice to see 27 raking. I'm hoping he does great. Gets our number retired someday. You'll show up for the ceremony, huh? 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, we appreciate Garrett taking his time out of his schedule tonight to join us along for this broadcast.
Kidding me? What else does he have to do? He
Well,
plays golf like
saying.
semi-professionally.
Yeah, but still, he could have something else that he wanted to check out.
We heard about his arduous lifestyle during fantasy camp.
Well, as I say, he's earned it.
He had a heck of a career. 1-2 on Story. And Samardzija gets him with that same pitch, that cut fastball that he starts on the outside corner and takes off the plate.
And he's done it all night long.
Literally the same pitch 3 times.
And then the last 3 strikeouts have been that.
Cargo tonight reached on an error in the 1st, grounded to 2nd in the 3rd, and hit a rocket up the middle in the 5th inning. Dougie's just informed us that the 2 home runs by Trevor Brown, the 7th time a Giants rookie catcher has hit 2 homers in a game, the last being Buster Posey. Yep, 2010. Cargo gets jammed. Shallow center field. Span makes the catch. They're 2 outs. That'll bring up Arenado's 1-4-3. Who wants tacos? Fans follow at @RootsSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more runs. Just confirming, Garrett, what we were speculating about. Did we ever get any retorts from Spilly?
No, I got nothing crickets from him. I had no text. He didn't come up here to the booth.
It's very unusual for him to be out of electronic range.
So I could have said he shot 109 with a foot wedge instead of an 89. You wouldn't know.
Exactly. Eight straight retired by Samardzija. On the ground, 2 hops at Matt Duffy. 9 straight. So we go to the 9th inning. The Giants are in control of this one, 7-2. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. The Giants leading the Rockies 7-2. We've arrived at the top of the 9th inning. And it's point counterpoint tonight. Garrett Atkins and his former teammate and former golfing buddy, Ryan Spilborghs. Jenny, what do you have for us?
Well,
Corey's
I'm just going to
out there.
say I wasn't invited to play golf today. Drew, Huey, were you? I know
No.
Corey wasn't invited to play golf today. So I'm going to probably believe Garrett Atkins more than I'm going to believe you.
So you guys don't believe I shot an 89?
No, I do.
No.
I believe that it's. I believe that at some point.
What
team?
Hold on a
They're
second.
the
through
white-
14, you
the
shot an
white
89.
I played with you twice last week, and I believe as last week was the case, that at some point during the round you had an 89.
Yeah, but it was through 15 holes.
Hey guys, we have the Toyota postgame show after the
Oh,
game.
all right. Sorry.
You should join. We'll talk more golf and some other things called baseball. See you then.
Jenny, I have an idea as to why he didn't invite you. You have a slight injury. As to why he didn't invite Corey, myself, or Huey. I'm just speechless. He was nice enough to call me in the middle of the round.
I didn't even get that.
Fly ball to shallow left. Para.
Well, we are setting up another round of golf down the road, were we not, Drew?
That is why he's in the middle. Hey, right now I'm playing, and I want to play so much. Set up another round when we get out on the road. I believe that was the essence of
Corey,
that
when
call.
do you want to play? You and I will go.
I know that Garrett's listening, and I know he's right. I mean, I do use a foot wedge, and I may have scored an 89 today, but my question to Garrett was, why did you stop playing when you had 99 home runs? Come on, man.
Slowly hit the first. Huey, break this up.
I got to break it up for a second because we need to get it. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is now available. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices, even on the golf course.
Even on the golf course if you get invited to play. Hunter Pence has done damage tonight. 2 for 4, 3 RBIs, including his second home run of the year. Good play by Gurka. 1-2-3 9th inning for Gurka. So we'll go to the bottom half of the 9th with the Rockies trailing by 5. link to what's next. Here's the pitching matchup tomorrow evening here at 20th and Blake. Jordan Lyles will go for the Rockies against Jake Peavy. Peavy, 10 hits, 4 runs in his first outing against the Dodgers. Jordan Lyles really struggled with command in taking on San Diego in his first outing of the year. In the 9th inning, George Contos will take the baseball for the Giants. He's already been in 4 games this year.
He's in a career high 77 games last year, 4-4 with a 2.33 ERA. The 0-1 record, that's a result of the loss on Saturday against the Dodgers.
Jeff Samardzija, second start in a Giant uniform, goes 8 innings, 111 pitches. Couple runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. He continues. He doesn't have a ton of starts here, but he has a minuscule ERA in 22+ innings at Coors Field. An ERA well below 2. Parra is 1 for 3.
Just for the outing tonight for Samardzija, lowered it coming in. It was just one game where it was 506 coming into the game, but now down to 338.
Pitcher spots up next. Christian Adames is in the you know, we always say the on-deck circle. Nobody stands in the on-deck circle.
Because the on-deck circle is made out of, it's plastic, so you stand on it, you're going to slip when you go to swing.
Doesn't Pence stands in the on-deck circle.
Pence is a different cat.
Right.
I don't mean that in a bad way. He's just Hunter Pence.
Parra on the ground to second. So panic, 1 out. So here comes Christian Adames.
Still looking for that first hit of the season.
Matty, thanks for letting me take over Twitter. Enjoyed watching my first game of the year. We appreciate it. Let's do it again. Back up the middle and on through. So Christian Adames with his first hit of 2016. A 1-out single in the 9th.
Back up the middle off the bat of Adames on the Subaru Supermo. Brandon Crawford lays out for it, even in a 7-2 game.
Hicks 0 for 2 and a walk. One on Hundley. Rockies been kept in the ballpark tonight. 17 home runs their first 6 games of the year, tied a major league record set by the Tigers in '06. The 7-game record is 20 home runs by the Cardinals in 2000. I never would have guessed that. You never think of, other when Albert was there, you go way back, Stan the Man, but you don't think of home runs with the Cardinals.
No. I still think of the Cardinals of playing on that AstroTurf.
With all that speed.
Willie McGee.
Vince Coleman. He held it.
I think they're trying to ask for some help at first base, saying it hit the dirt. So give us the best look on the Subaru Supermo.
It did hit the dirt.
Hurt. Yes, it did.
That's plain as day. That ball's going to come out. This will be reversed. Nick, keep the helmet on.
I'm not sure it's reviewable.
Maybe it's not. Goes in the books as a strikeout. 2 outs in the 9th inning, and Ben Paulson will have his second at bat. He struck out against Samardzija in the 7th. Came in a double switch. Mark Reynolds got the start tonight. Single, a walk, and a pop out for Reynolds. The Orioles are 7-0, Huey. What are the Vegas odds they go unbeaten?
I don't think that'll happen. They went to Boston. Beat up on the Red Sox 9-5.
9-5. Boston's 3-4. Big Papi hit another home run. He's got 3 in his final tour around the big leagues.
Did you see his daughter sing the national anthem?
No, I missed it.
Yesterday. Pretty special. He had tears in his eyes. Last opening day for him.
Last time Boston was here, Jeff, if you remember, he brought his son, who's a beautiful kid. I want to say he was like 4 or 5 at the time, and you can tell, he's got that effervescent personality. He's that way with his family. It was really neat to see him with his son when they were out here. I'll have to check that out. The daughter singing the national anthem. 1-2 on Paulson. 2-2. Three and 2. Adames will be off with the pitch. And it's rifled, but picked up on one hop by Panic. And his flip to Belt ends the game. The Giants utilize the long ball, and they win game 1 of this 3-game set. 7-2 over the Rockies. Jeff Samardzija pitched an extraordinary game. 8 innings, 111 pitches, allowing just 2 runs on 6 hits. He gets the victory, and Tyler Chatwood takes the loss. Tyler's now 1-1. The Giants improved to 6-2. The Rockies fall to 3-4. Jimmy John's delivery of the game provided by the backup catcher Trevor Brown, getting an opportunity to play because Buster Posey has a slight injury, and he hit 2 home runs, the second and third of his young career. So a night he'll never forget. Trevor Brown, our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Again, the final score 7-2. The Giants over the Rockies tonight at Coors Field. Let's go to center field. Jenny and crew. Jenny, it's all yours.
All right, Drew, thanks so much. You mentioned it. The story here, very different tonight about a different rookie, Trevor. See what I did there?
And that guy had the big home run against Ross Stripling last week against the Dodgers, breaking up that no-hitter.
Yeah, it wasn't against Stripling. It was somebody came in relief. But either way, good job on the Giants tonight.
Yeah, big one months. The Toyota postgame show is coming up next.